So in previous video I was looking at this activity on arrow network diagram. So I described very briefly that these numbers in square brackets show the level of two resources. So for example, in activity A we need 4 number of resource A and 0 number of resource B. For activity C we need 3 resource A, 1 resource B, and similarly for others. And so this type of diagram can then be shown for resource loading. Okay, so we can show the resource loading in such a way that we can modify this diagram. So for example, we can see that A, D and G, A, D and J we can see is the critical path. So we can draw A, D and J on a line on some horizontal scale over here. Okay, so A, D and J, and then B is also simultaneous to A, so B we can draw. So A and B both are 20 days long, so we can draw B over here, and similarly we have E and J as well. Okay, so by drawing it all the activities on this horizontal scale, then we can add up the resources in those activities. So for example, A, B, and then I can also see that there is C as well, but C is for up to 10 days. So if this is day 0, this is day 1, 10, and then this is day 20 over here. So we will see that in A we need 4 number of resources A throughout for this 20 days. For B we need it also for 20 days, 2 number of resources A from here, and for C 3 number of resources A. Okay, so for C, so in this way we can see that for the first 10 days we need 3 plus 2 5 plus 4 9 number of resources resources. So if we draw this diagram nicely, then we can come up with some very nicely drawn diagram, as I am going to show in this slide. So here, this is the way, this is another way for drawing this activity on arrow diagram. You can say that it is a modified AOA diagram. So in this diagram you can see that now for activity A is here, B is here, C is here. So the first 10 days are common. Okay, so for the first 10 days, 4 plus 2 6 plus 3 9 resource A are present. Okay, so this is resource A for the first 10 days, and of course resource B will be also here. Resource B will start with activity B. Okay, with activity B, and for activity C, so then there is also resource B as well. But what we can do is we can separately represent for activity A and B. Anyway, how many resource A are here? 9. How many resource B are here? 2. And similarly for the next interval, we can identify how many resources A are here, how many resources B are here. So these things can be added up, and then these can be shown in the form of the resource profiles for this network diagram. So in this case, you can see that this is the resource profile over here, and in this resource profile over here, you can see that for the first 10 days we need 9 resource A's. Okay, so this is 9 resource A's, and this will be shared among activities A, B, and C. On A we need 4, for B then we need next 2, and then for C we need another 3 resources A. And similarly, you can see that in activity for the next 10 days we need 6 number of resource A's, okay, in activity A and B. And then for the next 2 days we need 4 number of resources, and for the next 3 days we need again 9 number of resources, but in different other activities. For the next 2 days we need 7 resources, and for the remaining, like well, it's not like 2 days. I mean, it depends on the it depends on the scale. So for example, this one line over here shows 2 days, so it's not like this from here to here. It's not 2 days, it's like 4 days, and from here to here it is 1 2 3 4 times 2 is 8 days. So that for the last 8 days we need 6 resources. So in this case you can see that the resource profile is changing from high to low to further low to again high, and then low, and then low. So resource profile is for resource available resource need. For the need of resource A is fluctuating, okay, throughout this project. So this fluctuation of the resources is actually a kind of a issue which needs to be settled with the resource leveling problem, with resource leveling technique, which we are going to investigate next. And by the same token, you can also draw the resource profile of for the resource B. Okay, so you can see that the resource needs are also fluctuating for resource B. This kind of resource profile can also be prepared with the help of, by instead of using the AOA diagram, we can also draw the AON diagram, activity on node diagram, and then from the activity on node diagram we can draw the Gantt chart. Okay, so for simple problem like this, you can even draw the Gantt chart on Excel. And then on this Gantt chart, so for example, if the Gantt chart will look like this, so you will represent the bar for each activity. Okay, so for example, activity A, B, C, like this you will show, and for each bar, and then you can also represent the number of resources in those activities. So for example, A has I don't know, maybe 4, B has 2, C has 3. So you can add up those numbers over here to come up with the resource needs on each day over here. Okay, so the same profile then you can draw in this form, so you can get the same results even from the activity on network diagram. So in the present approach, we use the activity on arrow diagram. We use the modified activity on arrow diagram. So remember this was the modified activity on arrow diagram. In this modified activity on arrow diagram, you have just rearranged the activities to show them at their earliest start points. Okay, so it shows in this form, whereas in the Gantt chart you show the activities consecutively, so you don't have to overlap those certain activities at the same level. So you can show the activities at different levels. So for example, if there are 10 activities, so you will show them from activity 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 5, and then you can add up those numbers in those bars to get the resource usage profile over here. So in this form you can draw these column charts for the resource usage.